Yeah, I'm going to continue what I was doing on Christ I Am Disciple. I'm on an alternative channel. Apparently, some people don't like what I spread, the information that I spread. But like I said, you have the power. Let me recap real quick. 970 Air Force reservists have called for an end to the war in Gaza. This is Israeli Air Force service people, and there are their names there. Um, 90 soldiers are actually in active duty right now serving in the Air Force, and they signed that petition. Also, further, the mass killing in Gaza will poison Israeli soldiers' souls forever. This is Haaretz, an Israeli newspaper. So the tide has turned. We know that the teens, they don't sign up for this anymore. We know that a lot of kids have been put into prison, 18 years old and up, and they prefer prison than killing Palestinian children. So in Israel, there's a big resistance to this. I believe it's 70% of the Israelis want to see the continuation of negotiations so that the hostages can be freed. Some of them have their varied reasons, but one of the things they're saying is that the government, the regime, doesn't really care about Israelis. They only care about land grabs. So the Israelis are seeing this. Once again, I'm going to repeat what I said before. You have the power. You, the masses, have the power. And any country, whatever country you're in, you have the power. It's not the people who you've appointed to lead that have the power. You ultimately have the power, but collectively. So stop fighting against each other. Join together as one and take back that power. How can you do it? You are the major labor force in any country. They haven't automated it to the extent where androids are running everything. You are the major brain power. You are the major consumer. You're the one that drives the economy because of your labor. You're the one that drives the economy because of consumerism. You're the one that delegates power to the new governments. Okay? So those four things mean that you drive things. It's not the other way around. You're the major donor of taxes to any country. So bearing that in mind, it's really up to you. If you think that your governments are not doing a good job for you, then it's up to you to get rid of them. And how can you get rid of them? One, stop buying big corporation stuff. Two, if you need to go on a strike, I don't care what, you're the major skilled labor. You are the police officers, the teachers, the lawyers, the doctors. You are the army. You are the military. You are the intelligence. You're the one that does all the work. They don't do shit. They need you. You don't need them. So based on that, your strategy and plan should be from a place of power. Unite yourselves together. They'll always try to find something to divide you by, whether it's race, class, whether it's political allegiance, whether it's religious allegiance. They try to find something to cut you up so that they can run. They are the few. You are the many. You have the numbers. Okay? All right. So I say this to say that the Israelis are taking that power back. You're seeing the people in the military say, we're not going to war for this. There are people also who are basically worn out. We have had a number of suicide. Israeli soldiers have committed suicide. People are burnt out. Yes, Israel is employing mercenaries. Yes, they're employing special forces from from the UK. They're using the intelligence from the UK, America, France, Germany. They're also, borrowing, importing a lot of stuff from other countries. Now, I said all of that, and then I went into taxation. I talked about tariffs and how Donald Trump's tariff thing is going to backfire royally in his face, and I explained why. Now, he gave a reasoning that had to do with back in 1970 when Nixon employed the same strategy. The problem was the world was different in Nixon's time. The world wasn't at the same pace. America was the top dog out there. Their economy was the top economy, and everybody needed to do business with America. So as a result of that, when they did impose those tariffs on those countries, yes, people went into America to do their business there. They built their industries there, and they exported their human resource, whether it's intelligence, skills, whatever, into America to beef it up even more. That strategy will not work today because America is not the top dog economically. It's China. America is not the top military might in the world. It's Russia. And the world has been gravitating to China and Russia, and this is why BRICS is an emerging thing. The only country in BRICS the foundational BRICS that is, that America can have some kind of sway on because their market is mainly dependent on America is India. Even though India has exported to all kinds of countries of the world, their major market is still with America. So it does hit India pretty hard. But here's the thing. Donald Trump feels by imposing these tariffs, India people and India resources and India companies in India will now lean to America, bow down to America, go into America with their companies, try to do their business in America, try to survive in there doing their business, at least. American companies in India would migrate back to America because they don't want to get those tariffs imposed on them. If they're in China, they would go back to America, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But actually, that's not the case. Let me explain what I mean. The Chinese will be saying, oh, Americans impose tariffs on you? Please, come here, stay here where your production costs will be much lower. Come to us. You're not buying. You can't export your goods to America. Export your goods to us. And an example of that is where Chinese, after the trade embargo on Russia, where they couldn't put their oil to Europe anymore, China said, "Hey, man, bring your oil to us." It was China and India that was buying Russian oil. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is, this is going to backfire royally in Trump's tail, and this is why he even abandoned the tariffs, and on 75 countries. He still has tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. China's imposed tariffs back. That's another thing. If you impose tariffs on a country, for that country to balance off the trade that happens between you, they impose tariffs back on you. So China's imposed 84% tariffs on American goods broadly across the board that come into China, not to mention the raw materials that are needed by these tariffs. You tariff the raw materials that American companies, and the American industries is at an all-time low. You only have like tech companies that are really doing well there, and now the tech companies are suffering because their raw materials and the stuff, certain particular things for their chips and their integrated circuits come from China. Anyway, because China basically monopolizes the cobalt industry because they get their cobalt straight from Africa. And that's a whole other story for another day. But suffice it to say this. If America thinks by imposing these tariffs, somehow they're going to cripple China, or they think that by, having this Ukraine war, they're crippling Russia, or some kind of stupid stuff like that. Let me just say this so that everybody understands unequivocally. One, unequivocally. Russia is a military might that is not going to be destroyed anytime soon. And the Chinese economy and the China is on the rise, and it will not stop being on the rise. There's nothing you can do about it. The only thing you can do is join the gravy train and be a trading partner with China. That would be a good thing. Because China, if you go and you look at a map of the world and where China is everywhere. Chinese and their companies and their business are in every single country. So America's way behind. You see, America should have put their businesses in every single company. Instead of having bases everywhere, they should have had businesses everywhere. That's what China did. It didn't want to export its military might and impose and intimidate everybody all over the world. No, and Russia was smart enough not to do that either. It's because you extend yourself thin, and all you are is a military might. You fuel everything into military. You spend billions and billions of dollars on stuff you shouldn't be spending money on, when you could be helping your people. The Chinese people, say what you want about them. You could say they're not a democracy, whatever, but under the system they want, everybody's taken care of. There are people who are persecuted in China. I'm not saying no, but everybody's taken care of. So that's the bottom line right there. Now, let's get to a bunch of other things that I want to say about this. In short, what I'm saying is the Free Palestine that we've been doing has been so effective in the last 2 years. It's been more effective than ever before. 2014 was a great year with the March of Return and everything, and people protested that under Barack Obama. But this is even bigger because at this time, Israel's being exposed for what it really is. Everybody over the world, it's a live broadcast. So even if you're not hearing this secondhand, you're seeing what's happening on the ground. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. The countries that have treaties with Israel. We have Saudi Arabia, of UAE. Saudi Arabia is trying to make a treaty with Israel through Donald Trump's son-in-law. They're trying to get real estate inside of Israel. And then you have Turkey. You have Saudi Arabia, and you have the UAE. UAE is responsible for that Congolese war that you see going on. Okay, so by and large, these people have connection. Also, India. They all have connections to Israel and America. All right. So they're like the Judases of the whole thing. They can go one way or the other. The problem is if Saudi Arabia pays attention, China has bigger market than America does. Just has a way bigger market. So the potential for Saudi Arabia to work with China versus Saudi Arabia working in America, America has limits, and America is going down. It's going down. The empire is falling. That's why I said tick, tick, tick goes the clock, right? That's what I said before. And it's only a matter of time before China's over and done with, okay? Let me see something here. Hold on a second. For a second. Let's see something here. Right. Good. Just wanted to see. All right. So I'm saying this to say very quickly that we are becoming Free Palestine is now involved in a lot of different things. Okay. But Free Palestine means freeing the world, freeing you from your oppressors. Most governments of the world are evil. I'm going to say that right now. They're evil. They worship Satan. It is what it is. Okay, so they don't have your best interests at heart. They have the interests of their donors at heart. And even though you're the major donor, they see you as gullible. You can be influenced, you can be swayed. You're just nothing. Okay, so having said all of that, let's go into what else we're going to cover. But I'm just saying, economically speaking, Donald Trump, that's why he stopped the tariffs, because he realized they weren't working. And again, India can just go into the arms of China. I know India and China don't get along. They're two different nations, but in terms of trade, it be in their best interest to get along with each other. So what Donald Trump is doing is not driving companies towards America. He's driving companies towards China. That's what he's doing. At the end of the day, China has a better deal now. You put tariffs on things. The Chinese will have tariff wars with you, but they ain't going to have tariff wars with anybody else, which means lower cost. Hey, I get my goods sold to China now. China is taking my goods. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Problem solved. All right, let's keep it moving. My name is Omar. I love this. This is actually a person in Palestine writing here. Shout out to him, the Palestinian voice. My name is Omar Hamid. On a very cold morning with dewdrops feeding my hungry body, the sun has not yet risen as I make my way to the headquarters of the World Food Organization, WFO. My father has received a message saying that we have won a bag of flour. They told me the place was about 10 kilometers away. But in truth, it was more than 100 demolished homes, 20 corpses, and 1,000 untold stories buried with their owners. Countless tents, many orphans and widows. My own story left on the margins of history. 101 decomposed cat corpses lay beneath the garbage-strewn road. On my way, I found a woman and a young man named Ahmed, heading to the same place. Like me, they believed they would be first in line. But I wasn't like them. They were the only survivors of their entire families. I instantly imagined the scene of them being pulled from under the rubble, leaving everyone behind. Ahmed shivering from the cold in a worn-out jacket, saying, "Do you think we will win the flour bag today? I don't know what I'll eat if I don't win it today." I paused, thinking about the meaning of win he used. Why did he use that word? Why doesn't he believe this flour is his right? What state have we reached where we see flour as a prize? I said, "Don't worry, Ahmed. God never forgets anyone." A noise of questions began pounding in my mind. Neither of us spoke again. What would a Gazan say to another Gazan? A displaced person to another displaced? A person sentenced to death to another like him? A hungry tongue to another? A dead man to a dead man? Do the dead even talk? Then the question returned. What is the meaning of life? Why am I hungry? Why is he? I truly want to know what life means. How did hunger become the greatest weapon? What's the difference between us and wild animals in the jungle? Who are we? The sun began to rise, and with it came hope, a fleeting hope that pushes away this fake darkness. But the truth is, the real sun has yet to rise on this world. Maybe somewhere else in the world, at the same time, there's a young man, maybe also named Omar, getting ready to go to work or to a party or to sit at a grand feast. I don't want to continue. But the road was darker than I expected, lonelier than I imagined. Children, half asleep, held empty water containers, waiting for the water truck. Perhaps their thirst was stronger than their sleepiness. Maybe the bites of foolish flies woke them. These flies, like the squirrel, feel nothing. What truly struck me were the scenes of elderly people sitting by the roadsides in front of their tents, holding Korans in their hands, reciting aloud. Every time I approached one of them and said, "Peace be upon you," he would stop reciting. His face would glow with light and say, "Peace be upon you, my son," then start praying for me. I felt as though the love of this world rested on their lips. When I finally arrived, I was wrong to think I'd be first in line. I found many people already there, all hungry people of my homeland. I began to shiver more. Would I win a bag of flour, or would I return to my family empty-handed? I don't know why I used the word win and lose. Maybe Ahmed was right when he said, because getting a bag of flour is the greatest prize I could ever hope for. I waited in line only to return to my family in defeat. I will prepare myself for tomorrow morning. I wanted you to see their perspective. I wanted you to see what a victim looks like. I wanted you to see that this man has pride, but that everything has been washed away to its bare essence as he goes to find food that he does not get. I asked him if there are any trees in the area that he can use the leaves. They're good herbs. You can get nutrients from them. You can get nutrients from the dew that falls upon grass, if you can find grass. Pepe Escobar, of which I just listened to a stream with him where he was speaking about the Yemenis. Here, Donald Trump points a gun at Yemeni children because, as we all know, these bombings, they're not to bomb strategic installations of the military. They don't know where the military are in Yemen. They can't stop the barrage of missiles and bombs from hitting their ships and hitting Israel. No, they bomb civilian areas, civilian targets, churches, homes. And the impudence, the smugness of wicked people filled the gluttony of greed, the demonic nature of evil is portrayed in this cartoon so succinctly. The hypocrisy of a culture that says children and women's rights are more important than men's, now publicized by the United Nations and the World Health Organization, and you can't get a loan if you don't treat women and children well from the IMF. Look at this hypocrisy. You murder children. You've been murdering them in their thousands.
Never mind where you are when you have a conscience remaining within you. The Palestine needs you. Be part of the show, yo. So activate the right, you must fight to something right to stop the war. If you really believe and care, you should be right here for justice and rights. Come here and share. To be safe, be brave. Tell the truth everywhere. Break the fear barrier. Be the cry of the pain. Be an example of patience. Be the voice of conscience. The reflection for the truth. Become one of the greatest. Welcome to the list. Be respectful, hopeful, powerful, merciful, faithful. We can do it. We will do it. Raise your voice and let them hear it. We new generation are not gonna stop. So stop killing us and stop the genocide. We want a real action from the wall. Stop fooling us and cut that crap. We new generation are not gonna stop. So stop killing us and stop the genocide. We want a real action from the wall. Stop fooling us and cut that crap. I really get a question. Why military stands with the criminals, no answer. Even though we know they're like a cancer. Realize, realize, realize. What? Things get ugly, truth dies. We're not living here, we don't compromise. Earth, the power of Zionist crime. Tell the world they don't have mercy. Shout out Israel has the most evil. The blood of innocents, a red sea. Wake up, start caring. Something to stand side by side. We can move mountains. If you're not gonna stand now, now you're gonna do it. Ignore an increase is something nice. Who's counting? They're killing more than once, twice, many, many times, and many, many times. We, your generation, are not gonna stop. So stop killing us and stop the genocide. We want a re-election from the wall. Stop following us and crack that crack. We, your generation, are not gonna stop. So stop killing us and stop the genocide. We want a re-election from the wall. Stop fooling us and crack that crack. Why universe stand but unfair forces? Are you nuts or afraid? Or maybe just cowards? What a mistake that you forget. As you give, as you take. Don't be a damn loser. Don't be a damn loser. Finally mask off. We can't see your face. Definitely. We're serious with the case. You want a real talk? Benjamin is liar. You want a real talk? Ceasefire. Parasites claim innocence while they're committing most his crimes. What the hell, yo? Do you believe it? Public genocide. Do you hear it? Public genocide. Let me tell you something, yo. Better late than never. We won't let them down. We can make a change through a wide range of the world. Even by war, butterfly effect is gonna change the whole world. Your generation are not gonna stop. So stop killing us and stop the genocide. We want a re-election from the wall. Stop fooling us and crack that crack. We, your generation, are not gonna stop. So stop killing us and stop the genocide. We want a re-election from the wall. Stop fooling us and crack that crack.
By the way, that is a Yemeni song sung by the Yemeni youth. And Yemen is, I mean, I got to get these, man, these people got mad heart. You know, they are standing up to the Western Empire. Right now, it's not just American bombs that are flowing in Yemen. It's also Israeli bombs. They're bombing everywhere. They don't care. You know, they're not bombing any military installations. They're not harming Ansarallah, aka the Houthis. The whole country is united as one and standing up against them. And shout out to them, man. And they have suffered for almost a decade. They've been suffering from the Saudi attacks and just Saudi bombardment, brutal bombardment. And they're standing as one. Okay. And I'm saying this to say they understand what the Palestinians are going through. And they are fighting to save them. And right now in the Red Sea, still, now they've added American seafaring craft to it. They bomb and they will sink any vessel that comes through the Red Sea, which is going to Israel. They are bombing that stuff. If Israel is stopping and blockading the Palestinians so that no food can come into Palestine, then no commerce will go through the Red Sea to Israel. And the Yemenis are very successful at doing that. And, you know, Donald Trump is doing absolutely, they say he's doing something else that's, you know, different to Biden, but he's really not doing anything because they're talking about how they eliminated the Yemeni heads. Well, Pablo Escobar clearly discounted that and debunked that. Nobody, in terms of the Yemeni military, etc., no one has been harmed. And I can tell you that the Yemenis fight in a totally different way. I mean, they fight like the Vietnamese. They fight guerrilla warfare. You're not going to know when a missile, where this missile comes from. It's just going to come. And they've been sending drones and missiles. And right now, I believe they've damaged very severely and killed a number of American soldiers in the Red Sea. And they hit a number of multiple times the ship in the Red Sea. They haven't sunken it, but they have hit it. And Also, just for the record, even though America has brought in another ship, I guess gearing up for the war with Iran, I don't think they understand. Iran, okay, the civilians in Iran could be in danger, no doubt about that. But to say you're going to somehow, and I've said it, I'm going to say it one more time. I think that Iran is already nuclear ready. I think they already have nukes. I think it's just a mistake, a horrible mistake to go to war with Iran. I don't think, see, people saying they violated whatever agreement and whatever with arms. Listen, I don't give a damn what they say. You know, Iran has to protect Iran's interests, and there's a dangerous, rogue nation in the Middle East that's causing a lot of trouble, and that's Israel. Israel is a problem to everyone in the Middle East. It's not interested in peace. It's interested in war. They have nukes already, so why wouldn't Iran nuke up itself? I mean, it just makes no sense to me, right? Aside from that, Iran has much more dangerous weapons than nukes that are much more precise. And that's a whole other story for another day. But it's very important to realize that I don't think the U.S. understands what's involved here. And I would suggest to American soldiers and American citizens who not to sign up for the military, do like the Israelis and don't support any sort of war action in any kind of way where it does not serve America's interest at all. And I mean you, the people of America. I don't mean the corporations. So anyway, I wanted to share that song with you because the Yemeni youth are coming out. There's been a petition through lawyers to the UK to remove Hamas from being a terrorist group. Hamas is legitimizing themselves, and it's been filed by a lawyer to, I believe, I'm not sure where in the UK. That has been filed, and quite frankly, I don't think Hamas is a terrorist organization. A lot of things that they allege Hamas has done, it did not do. So that's just for the record. But a lot of things have been caught on tape with Israel doing terrorist actions. Way, both in scope and in just action, worse than Hamas has ever done on tape, as far as we have seen. Okay, I wanted to share with you guys a recent interview with James Cameron. This is a snippet from Knackered. Shout out to Knackered. Game recognizes game. James Cameron names Zack Snyder again in the context of an auteur, and the existence of the real text proves Zack's influence on the industry. Only failed filmmaker haters don't seem to accept that. All your favorites admire Zack, and here we go.
In my head,
Right.
as a filmmaker, in the
The degree to which it slams the door shut on new and innovative things that can come from people who were never going to get the types of budgets that a mature filmmaker gets today.
exactly,
But they have
and it's getting worse.
It's getting worse. It's not getting better.
Yeah.
But they have a great idea.
Yeah.
And of course, they were inspired by people who came before them.
Yeah.
And they want to pay homage to that. But it's a new idea. But they can't do it without these tools. They don't have the ability.
I think we should discourage the text prompt that says in the style of James Cameron or in the style of Zack Snyder or in the style of, make up your own style. That makes me a little bit queasy, but on the other hand, it's kind of cool to have it in the style of as part of a text prompt.
Part of your own. I aspire to someday have and in the style of.
I've aspired to be in the style of Ridley Scott, in the style of Stanley Kubrick. It's that's my text prompt that runs in my head as a filmmaker. In the style of George Miller.
I need you to know that right now we're witnessing.
Let's just rewind that for a second before I go further. So I'm gonna actually say my words on this because it's important people understand. All right. So I'm just gonna put it out there. Zack Snyder will forever be in the zeitgeist as controversial as he is. The weird thing is Zack is quietly working on his projects, not even bothering to respond to all the buzz he creates. The industry of execs hate Zack. And the creators in it love him because he's ballsy. I think, and when I say ballsy, the statements that he makes, ladies and gentlemen, Zionists would be rolling in their cheers with seething rage because Zach is basically a humanist. And if your objectives and your motives are not about human beings and caring about them, you are going to gnash your teeth and you will want to censor this guy. You will want to shut him up. How did he manage to do such an iconic piece like Batman v Superman? How did you guys even get him to do that? They got rid of Greg Silverman for that very same reason. They were wondering, what the fuck? How did you get this guy to put this message out there? You have to understand. The Wachowskis, when they did The Matrix, opened people's eyes to the world, and we stopped being dumb, stupid pawns in the hands of these leaders. That's where the power started to shift away. I will never forget The Matrix. It had such a tremendous impact on the entire world because it made you question things. And that was the time when my eyes started to open to the world. It was actually due to the Wachowskis' Matrix. You know, different movies in Hollywood serve different things in my life. Okay? Movies do have an impact on you, by the way. They can have a propaganda impact, or they can have, And let me tell you, the first movie that had a tremendous impact on me was Tim Burton's Batman. And Tim Burton, say what you want about Tim Burton, whether he knew the comics or not, that had a tremendous impact on me. Because at the time when I was in primary school and I was reading Batman comics and I saw how brutal Batman was, I always wondered why the Super Friends was, always, so nice. And I watched a lot of stuff, Thundercats, Super Friends, He-Man, and just so many Sunday morning cartoons back then. But I saw the trailer of Batman 1989. And I was like, and the music, at the time, Danny Elfman's music was just very amusing and everything. And it was a spin on the superhero theme. And it was gothic, it was dark, it was mysterious, it was scary, all these elements were in there. And I needed to see the Batman. I really wanted to see that movie as a child. How old was I? 1989. I was probably 10, 11 years old, maybe 12. And when I saw that, it had a profound impact on me. And I really wanted to see that movie. And we ended up getting HBO and Cinemax as cable back in the 90s. And that's when I got to see that movie. I really enjoyed it. And the whole family watched it, actually. Because we didn't know what cable was. And then we were introduced to cursing and all kinds of stuff through cable. And then I saw Batman Returns. I think I saw it the same year it came out in 1992. I didn't go and see it in the cinema at the time. I belonged to a religious, I was a Seventh-day Adventist, and they didn't prescribe to you going into theaters to see movies. But I saw it on the small screen, and I will never forget Michelle Pfeiffer's performance. It's incredible. And also Danny Elfman's and, of course, Michael Keaton's. And yeah, if you go back and you look at those films, they're kind of cheesy and, they're kind of silly. But at the time when I saw it as a child, it was revolutionary for me. And it opened my mind to what I read in the comics finally reflected itself on the screen. This dark, mysterious figure that's known as Batman. Before that, Batman was always friendly and, always obeying the law, and he wasn't a vigilante. The feeling I got with Zorro in the 90s, I don't know if you know the modern Zorro movies, but the feeling I got with Zorro is the same feeling I started to get with Batman, but even deeper with Batman, because Batman brought a darkness to him, Right. So a lot of people, I guess, were introduced to Batman through Tim Burton's movies. And Tim Burton obviously revolutionized how Batman was seen. Well, the other big landmark for me in comic book movies was The Matrix. And The Matrix really hit zeitgeist levels. I mean, it revolutionized, it changed the world. You know, people were very naive in the 80s, at least in my, I mean, there were people who were not naive, but most people were naive. My dad thought that Yasser Arafat and the PLO, they were bad guys and Israel needed to bomb the shit out of them. He didn't understand the story of the struggle. Very naive. And, you know, he thought Israel, for example, was God's chosen people and all that bullshit. So there's a lot of naivety. And it's only after The Matrix came out in 1999, you know, new millennia, you know, people were expecting the end of the world, all that kind of bullshit. It's only in 1999 when the Wachowski brothers came out with The Matrix. At the time, I was going into cinema and watching movies. And I remember watching this thing, and it blew my mind, conceptually and otherwise. And it opened my mind to questioning things more. I grew up in a family that I questioned my religion that I was in, and my father questioned my religion to a point. He still died a Seventh-day Adventist, which is a cult. But the point is, he taught us to question things, right? But then, I mean, The Matrix took it to a whole other level. I started questioning everything. And it helped me. I think like curiosity helped me. And that's why I probably ended up in research. But for the most part, what I want to say is that Zack Snyder took this thing to such a level now that the things that are transpiring in front of us right now, his comic book movie was talking about. It was commentary on this stuff. And it opened my eyes to, hey, this stuff has been around forever. It's just been quietly buried under. And I've seen racism. I've seen xenophobia. But now, like, it's so fucking obvious now, you know? And the way how he speaks about how, you know, intelligence agencies work, and he makes commentary on, you know, how, you know, with Superman, you know, it's altruism, and how he speaks about altruism, how he even speaks about hope. And, you know, the experiences I've had, you know, going along in my life, and as a Christian even, he just like sort of captured it so well, you know? And so it's like, oh, wow, this is the journey, huh? And it's just amazing how he was able to articulate that without words. Visually, he was bringing these things to the floor. And not only visually, but he was also, with the minimal language that was there, you were seeing that Clark refused to conform to non-effectual things. He felt like he had a purpose in this world, and so he had to help the cause of the powerless and helpless. So the story he pursued, instead of the football game, instead of sports, which is a distraction, right? Sports distracts us from what really is happening, right? It's supposed to be a distraction. Art and entertainment is supposed to be a distraction to keep us away from what's really happening in the world. Zack said, no, art and entertainment is a commentary on the world to let you see more clearly what the world is, and then to take your position and double down on what you will do in the world. And I thought that was just incredible. I mean, it's one of those things where, and I applaud James Cameron as well for bringing in that real worldness into fantasy. I think that's the stories we need more of. Martin Scorsese, you know, this is why these guys are so great. It's because they're commenting on things. And yes, they are commenting. It may not seem like they're commenting, but everything they do, the way how they shoot their angles and stuff, is a commentary. They're telling you a story, their story from their lens, and they don't need to explain themselves to you per se, but they're giving you a commentary. It's a commentary. It's their perception of the world. And that's what makes directing personal. And like Zack Snyder says, it's your perspective of the world. It's how you see the world. You know, and people are going to comment on that, and things they're going to see that probably you didn't see, or you probably weren't conscious of that you were saying, will come out. And to me, that's incredible. And so, yeah, Zack Snyder is going to probably forever be in the zeitgeist, and people are going to continuously mention his name. He studied, mythology, and he studied pop culture, and he knows what kind of gets people's pop awareness, and somehow he stays in that zeitgeist, and his name just keeps on cycling in the zeitgeist. He's just there. Anyway, I'm in the middle of making some drinks, so I'm going to go back to making drinks. But before I do so, I just want to
It slams the door shut on new and innovative.
I just want to go into something else here real quick. Seba, shout out to Seba, who also has cinema, whatever. I forgot what his name of his Twitter handle is for the cinema something. Help me out there, Seba. If this very moment Bruce realizes that he's become the very thing and took his parents away from him, this is literally in BVS. The moment when Bruce realizes I am a xenophobic dick. I am a racist dick. And we, of course, we know today with the refugee problem or whatever, people talk about, immigrants as other. They're not one of us. And for some reason, they're negative all the time. Even though they're the very people who are probably contributing to your society in a tremendous way. Some reason, immigrants are always, we don't welcome people into our house. Too many of you can't come in here. Or some kind of shit like that. Yet, you go out into their houses, you rape, pillage them, you kick them out their houses, and you expect them not to come to your house? Where else are they going to go? You want them to stay in the streets and die? I mean, you caused this problem. And then you don't have the audacity to welcome these people in, embrace them. You're talking about purity of your culture and your race. And people, man, y'all need to stop this shit. Really. It's disgusting. You caused the problem, and then you don't want to be the solution for it. If you didn't start all those wars and all these different people, or aid and abet in oppression of these people, they wouldn't have left their country. Jill Stein. Shout out to Jill Stein, Dr. Jill Stein. And Bruce Weir. Okay? Dr. Jill Stein is right. Stability in different countries and regions will lead people to exodus and repatriate where they are. They'll go back to their homeland if it's stable, if it's safe. Instead of trying to force people to be kicked out of your country again, violating so many laws, not doing due process like Donald Trump and his regime is doing. And trust me, the person who's in San Salvador, man, they need to sue Trump's administration for every fucking dime. If that man dies in there, Trump should be sued. And the country that man comes from originally, they should sue them as well. Man, there'd be so much lawsuits in their ass. They would never do it again because they don't like being affected by money. You don't let these people get away. You sue them for everything. It's got to be a huge lawsuit. It can't be. It has to be in trillions. Bankrupt their ass. And take the money and give it to other people. Palestine Action says a conversation on effective targets to target the genocidal war machine is more necessary than ever. Join us online with Andreas Malm for a deep dive into why property destruction is necessary for revolutionary change. I'm going to say this. The Turkish people, I'm going to speak directly to you. You need to sabotage that pipeline that supplies oil to Israel. While you are in unrest about Erdogan, you need to sabotage that fucking pipeline and destroy it. And whatever it takes, destroy that pipeline that goes to Israel. I know it's probably highly protected, but you got to get people. You guys got to come together and sabotage it. If Israel can't get oil from Turkey, they're going to have to import the oil. Uncle Claus boycott Israel. He calls these people mass murderers. Bill Gates. These people are now on trial, right? Bill Gates, Anthony Fauci, Schwab, and here are some others. Birx, Tedros, Daszak, Collins, Grady, Walensky, Hahn, Cohen, Burka, Guterres, that is Antonio Guterres. And why is he a murderer? Because even though he's spoken out against what is happening in Palestine, he's kind of doubled back, and he's speaking about now the hostages and what they've gone through. And he's not spoken about the Palestinian hostages, not at all. And the atrocities happening. Barack Obama, yes, he's a murderous son of a bitch. What's this? Ensel and Hotez. What do all these people have in common? They are mass murderers. There's no doubt about that. Jackie Walker. Shout out to Jackie Walker. I'm torn. I'm 71 today. I've never been better, stronger, calmer. While around me, the world is led by monsters taking us to hell. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. As I'm intending to live to at least 94, I'm optimistic that I'll see the degenerates in their graves and experience a better world to come. Because in truth, the alternative is annihilation. Here's hoping and fighting and speaking up for better to come. X. First of all, Jackie Walker, shout out to you. In order for that to happen, you have to continue to be vocal. You have to continue to fight. And I know you're about free Palestine and free Sudan and free Congo and all that. But you also have to organize with your communities and get close to people. We have to get closer as a people. And we're only one people. We're a human race. So we need to come closer to each other. And then we need to shut shit down. We're not going to work to fuel a war machine. We're not going to work to fatten rich people who are not giving back. We're going to work where the money can cycle back and forth between the people and the business community. If it's not working, we're not supporting it. I don't want to have a job where I'm working for someone who, yeah, they compensate me a bit, but they're not really what I'm supposed to be worth. And on top of that, they're not only not compensating me, but they're not trying to improve my community in which I live, or they're not trying to improve any community in which anyone lives, except their own fat margins, and to get tax cuts. So I'm just saying, that's what we have to do. We have to stand up as people, from the people in Palestine to the people in China. We need to stand up as people. And yes, some of us are going to be casualties, and yes, some of us are going to die for it. But we have to stand up. We have to take a stand and not be afraid to stand up and do what we need to do. I'm absolutely horrified to hear this and hope that UCLH will take action. And this is, instead of medical examination, Dr. Susie Morris at UCLH shamefully preached me that it was my duty to defend my country's apartheid Israel. Meanwhile, NHS punishes courageous doctors standing out against genocide. Listen to the doctor.
The reason I'm making this video is that
this brother has been
over my
victimized.
journey since...
Hold on a second. This brother has been victimized for pointing out the crimes in Palestine as a medical doctor. He's lost his job, etc., and they're victimizing him. Here we go.
Hi guys, I'm Nadeem. You're probably absolutely sick of hearing my voice and seeing my face, but I'm one of the many doctors, healthcare workers who have been disciplined by our workplace or by the NHS for speaking out on platforms like X about the genocide in Gaza. Now, the reason I'm making this video is that over my journey since the suspension in August, I've really tried to be a head above the parapet, like a few of us have. There are many people who are still scared to, and I can completely understand that. The reasons can be the genuine fear. The reasons can be the repercussions, and also the fear of losing your job because you're a single mum, or there are other aspects of your life which mean that speaking out and the thought of losing your job is just not worth risking. I've lost all of those fears. The thing that's become really, really confusing and clear to me is that we, as a profession, should be standing up against genocide. I have no doubt about that. And I think anybody that you speak to affected will agree with me. But what I don't understand is how simple it appears to be for the platforms to be accessed with a large following, or in fact a national following if you look at papers, when we're telling stories of supposed anti-Semitism or accusations of anti-Semitism. But why big platforms, be it on X or big newspapers, etc., are very, very interested and apologetic about our stories as victims of anti-Palestinianism or anti-Arabism. But after they've shown interest, they seem to be so fearful once it hits the news desk of actually publishing something. Now, I understand news is news, and it's not necessarily there for any kind of moral action. But there are some huge voices on social media. Some of them have reached out to me, and I'm so grateful. But it surprises me how few people have reached out to tell the story, not just mine. There are a number of doctors out there on social media who are expressing their huge concern as to how amoral it is that healthcare workers are losing their jobs or being suspended or going through horrific General Medical Council investigations for saying that killing babies is bad, for saying that the sexual violence and rape is bad, for saying that some of these horrific Zionist voices, that seem to be justifying what's happening in Gaza, are unacceptable and horrifying. We are being told that, in my case, potentially upsetting for somebody to read that. We need you. We need you to tell our story. I'm pleading with you. This is me through desperation. I've tried so hard to reach out to you, to connect you with all of these doctors, but we have lost the fear, and we need you to put us up on a pedestal, because we've got a few thousand followers between us, but we need to get this story out. We need to let people know what groups like UK Lawyers for Israel are doing, what Nasha Jew has been doing, what Labour Against Anti-Semitism has been doing, about each and every one of us who cares nothing more, cares about nothing more than humanity. None of us have got any accusations of hurting patients in our 10, 15, some of us 20-year careers in medicine. But it just seems so easy for somebody like Sabrina Miller, a journalist, to come and write a 2-page broadsheet article about, anti-Semitic doctors who are not safe in the NHS. And we all go, oh, that's horrific. But why aren't you championing us? Why aren't these big platforms boosting us? We need you. We need you to reach out. And this is a call for help, because it's happening to more and more healthcare workers day by day. All right? Please reach out. Please tell our story, because we really need to get out there.
Hey, Mama. Hey. As a Jewish person,
You're probably absolutely...
Okay, so that was, I just thought I'd show you Rafi. I don't want to say more about Rafi. Rafi's such a precious little baby. And this is the Palestinian people. They're just normal people, right? And that's the father and his daughter chilling out, and mom's taking the video. They're normal people like you and me. All right, shout out to Nadim Haddadin. Shout out to you, brother. I am going to spread your information again. Doctors doing their job, speaking out about things that are wrong. People who are speaking out wrong. Anything they say wrong about Israel, you're anti-Semitic. It's bullshit. Okay? And I hope you guys take up the chart and you also spread this information that Hadim Nadadin. Also, of course, they have arrested Dr. Abu Safia. He's still in custody. They murdered and raped and buggered another doctor who works internationally, an international doctor. They've killed American doctors. They've killed Palestinian doctors. They've killed 15 health workers. There's been an assault on healthcare. And none of these fucking international agencies, except for the WHO, have spoken out against this. And so it's ridiculous that these people are not speaking out against these things. And sorry about the F-bomb. I didn't intend to say it, but I just got so angry just thinking about it. Nadim Haddadin and several other doctors, I was on their space, and I listened to them talking about this. It's very important to understand these people are doing the ethically and moral thing. What I have to tell Nadim Haddadin is that you're the face and you're the voice, and you need to stay. You need to persist. You need to keep fighting. Your life, putting your life on the line for others is what it is. You know, a lot of Palestinian doctors have died putting their lives on the line for their patients. So this is the price we pay as battle warriors. But I'm totally backing you up, brother, and all the sisters and all the brothers and brethren over there who have moral compasses who are keeping your oaths as medical doctors. God bless you, brother. And on top of that, I will publicize whatever. And this is really a boxing channel, but because they blocked me on the other channel from streaming, and they can fuck off as far as I'm concerned, we are going to continue to voice the voiceless, to put people out there, because these are human beings. These are people just like you and I. They're just doing their job. And anybody calling them anti-Semitic, fuck you. You know what? Fuck you. Because you're a nasty, evil person. That's what you are. You're a nasty, evil person. That's what you are. These people are anything but anti-Semitic. And you're going to have to excuse my F-bombs. I just feel so angry at how demons can run things. You know, how the prince of this world runs things. And it just gets me angry. And I know I shouldn't curse. But there are wicked, evil people out in this world. And these wicked, evil people are using as much. This is called using the race card. It's not race. It's about people who practice a religion. But nonetheless, this is what you call using a race card. And this is evil what they're doing. Okay? Now, black people, they say, oh, black people are using the race card, but you're using a fucking race card, you fucking disgusting Zionist pigs. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. No, I should just call you demons. That's what you really are. You're not pigs. Pigs are good animals. Pigs make pork. Pigs play in dirt. Pigs play in mud. No. Pigs are too nice a name. No, you're demons. That's what you are. You're nasty demons. You worship Satan. You drink the blood of human beings. You're sick. Okay. I got that out of my system. And you can quote me on it. Yes. So, shout out to this brother who's doing the right thing. Don't worry, my friend. You just stay the course. No matter what they try to do to you, you stay the course. One lady who protested, she got her job already. And there's going to be a job for you, my brother. You're going to get a job. You're going to get to practice your medicine and etc. And you will have job security. But what you need to understand is this is the sacrifice. And people have sacrificed even more. And even I may have to sacrifice more as well. And we can't do enough. So you just keep pressing on. Don't buckle now. Don't be afraid. Stand strong and keep going. Keep going. Like I said, the clock is ticking. And the end is in sight. Israel as a national entity is going to end. Right now, France, Macron, that piece of shit in France, Macron is trying to work out a deal where Palestine becomes a state and Israel remains a state. No, Israel must never remain a state. Not in the condition it is in. It has proven without a doubt that the Palestinian Initiative, known as Israel, is evil. Even its own people are citing its evil within it. No, some of those people who are peace-loving and care about the Palestinians, they will exist in Palestine. It will be called Palestine. And it needs to be a democratic state or whatever it will be. I think it will be democratic. And everybody will exist there in peace. Some people will not have to leave where they're staying, and other people will have to leave where they're staying. Or they will have to compensate the people that they seized property from. And both have to come to the same agreement. Otherwise, they'll need to leave and move to another part of Israel where nobody's living. But fair is fair. And equity will be established. And we need to keep on pushing on. And now I am so glad that this happened, because now we get to say boldly, we don't need our governments. And if the laws are not helping the people, they're bad laws and don't need to be followed. It's time we said that. Civil disobedience is in order when laws are not benefiting the people, but they are for the beneficial of a few. Draconian laws, etc. And brute force will not stop the people. Will not stop the uprising. It's time to take back your power, people. And actions speak louder than words. You can make as much noise as you want if you don't have actions behind it. Boycott WB has been in full effect now for, 2 years? And it will keep on being in full effect until not just the Snyder versus Restore, but WB, they change fundamentally the structure of their company. Or they get bought over and somebody else manages the company differently. We are the consumer. We decide what is good and what is not. Not the critics, not the execs. We. Same goes for here. Shout out to Nadim Haddadin. I'm following him now on Twitter.
Hi guys, I'm Nadeem. You're probably absolutely sick of hearing my voice and seeing my face.
No, you must stop apologizing, Nadim. You're doing the right thing. Just go strong, go brave. Shout out to Ariel Bernstein. Ariel Bernstein says, just released this crucial collection of testimonies. The daily crimes committed in Gaza look as if they are impossible to stop at this point, as the forces of destruction seem more powerful than ever. But one thing any of us can do is learn, read, and observe. At least compile them. Make sure that the Hind Rajab organization also has them as account. You can always tag in the Hind Rajab organization and any other organization, the ICC, the ICJ, etc. Compile the data. The beauty of digital media is nothing goes away. Once you put it up on here, it can be found and accessed. You can't erase it. So all the acts that they're doing is incriminating them. And the more they do these war crimes, it's the more they incriminate themselves. And we will get them. We'll get every last one. We're coming for them. We're hunting them down. Donald Trump is now on that list. Fucked up. Polish artist Tek Leibowitz paints a solitary mural in to highlight the pain of Palestinian families in Gaza being wiped out by the Israeli genocide. It's beautiful stuff. But unfortunate. Love is all we need. Yes, we have to battle the world with love because the evil people, they battle the world with hate. Israeli lobby demands action against Kids Entertainer, that's this lady here, for wanting Palestinian children to be fed, not bombed. U.S. children entertainer Miss Rachel targeted by pro-Israel group for showing humanity. They can target her how much they want. I want them to know that the ones who are going to be targeted, every last one of them, will be them. For promoting, for her exposing them killing people, the murder. This second, there's no excuse for what's happening right now. None. Hamas was honoring the agreement. They didn't attack Israel or anything like that. They just launched this campaign because they wanted to do war. They want to kill and murder. Maddie Quinn says, liberals are the cunts who keep their mouths shut while demonic fuck pigs bomb children and obliterate them from land grabs. Don't call them demonic fuck pigs. Don't do that to pigs. Pigs are animals, and pigs generally are good. So don't call them pigs. Call them demonic devils. Call them what they really are. You don't need to use the word fuck in it. Don't need that. No, it's not necessary. Demonic devils. That's what they are. Say them by the right name. Call them by their spiritual right name. They're demonic demons who worship Satan. That Kabbalah. The synagogue of Satan. Call them by their real names. Yes, I must say we were very successful at boycotting Burger King, and we were also successful at boycotting Starbucks. Those campaigns have been great, but we also have to boycott a number of other agencies. I mentioned them before. I'm going to just mention them one more time here. What you're supposed to be boycotting. But again, if you buy local, you're probably going to boycott those things anyway. Plus, they're not good for your body. To be honest, Starbucks is not good. It's coffee and Burger King's not good either. All right, here we are. These are the businesses that invest in Israel. So boycott all those guys. Caterpillar use they use the caterpillars to knock down the buildings. KFC, Starbucks, British Petroleum, Fenty, Bank of America. That's right. Take your money out of Bank of America and let them know you support Israel. Fuck you. Pizza Hut, Sprite, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, McDonald's, Walt Disney. That's right. Puma, HP, Burger King, Sif, Always, Axe, Oral-B, Febreze, Fanta, Dell, Ariel, Nestle, Lipton, Intel, 7-Up, Maggie, Volvo. Okay? Just some of them. Boycott their ass. Negative views of Israel have risen in the United States. The percentage of who have an unfavorable view of Israel. In U.S. adults, it's moved from 42% to 53% of U.S. adults do have a negative view now of Israel. In the Republicans, it moved from 27% to 37% overall. Ages 18 to 49, it moved from 35% to 50%. Ages 50 and over, it moved from 19% to 23%. In terms of the Democrats, it moved from 53% disapproval to 69%. The overall, the 18 to 49 age group, you have 62% to 71%. And in the 50 plus age group, from 43% to 66%. That's the Pew Research Center, March 24th, 2025. So in the United States, which is supposedly protected and cradled, we found that it has moved from under 50%, way under 50%. It's increased by 11%, 53% of the, and this is not going to change. People seeing things with their own eyes they can't unsee. And then the policies of Americans, what they're doing to the college students, what they're doing to the protesters, what they're doing to the laws that they're making that are in favor of Israel, is bankrupting America and hurting America's economy. The proceeds and the process where these monies, billions and billions of dollars, go to Israel, which could be used for so many different things in the American society to improve life, which is dire right now in American society. The fact that the measures even taken by the administration is only going to harm American society even more. A lot of Americans are now going to just swing and realize Israel's the problem here. You know, to see that most politicians are bought out by AIPAC, that the truth has come out that, you know, it's really the Israeli agenda that's being carried out right now by Donald Trump. Netanyahu's agenda is what has the Americans having this disapproval, and it's only 53%. I'm pretty sure if allowed, if this goes on for a little longer, it's going to be way higher than 53%. And it's going to pass the threshold. And it'll only show that Israel needs to be, you know, the regime, not just a regime change, it needs a total overhaul. Its policies, its laws. The Palestinians have no rights whatsoever because they have no nation, right? According to Israel. So France is talking about they want to recognize Palestine as a nation. I really didn't give a fuck what Macron says. I do care about the government that's there in power. They're good people. They're all about free Palestine. Macron, he's an asshole as far as I'm concerned. So I really don't care what he says. He's a clown. He's a game show host. All right, so I am finished sharing with you guys on Free Palestine. Obviously, this is something I wanted to keep in the record books. And I will share afterwards. It's now 11:13. I need to get out of here, but I just want to say grace and peace to all of you guys out there. You know, it's been a blessing. But this brother's been in the front lines, man. This comedian, this is it here, where the senators laugh at Donald Trump talking about invading Gaza and kicking out the people. That's exactly what they want to do. So that's what I got for you guys. I am Christ, I am Disciple. This is What You Need's channel, but I am actually doing the stream on this channel because they attacked my other channel and don't want me to stream, and they cut the stream short. And there's a wicked, evil people doing this. But as well, as I said before, they're going to go to hell anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Have a good one, guys. God bless you.